Hello everyone, it's Hoplite Mike back with another video. Today we're taking a look at Knights of Honor 2 Sovereign, which is a little bit different to what we usually have on the channel, which is quite Total War based, but this is a very similar game that I am quite excited about. So for those of you who don't know, just a small introduction, Knights of Honor 2 is a grand strategy game set in the medieval era. It's a successor to Knights of Honor 1, which came out in 2004, and combines RTS battles with empire management and also has a robust multiplayer. It's a very similar formula to Total War overall. This game has been in the pipeline for some time. The initial release date was postponed to 2021, and since then it's been pushed back to 2022, and as of this date we don't have a confirmed release date. But there has been a small update from the developers, which I want to run through in this video. It's nothing massive, but I was struggling to find information about sort of what we can expect for a release date online, and this is quite a recent update direct from the developers, so I thought it might be of interest to some people. Just as a forward, I'm not just excited about this game because it looks great, I'm also looking forward to it because it provides some competition to Creative Assembly. Currently, if you want to play a grand strategy game with big battles, Total War is really one of the only games that fulfills that niche. If this game competes with Total War and takes away some of the player base, it will give Creative Assembly a business incentive to create another game from this era to get some of the player base back, and ultimately having competing products such as this is always good for the consumer. To set the scene, I thought I might start with an update that we received in mid-February. This is direct from the Knights of Honor 2 official Discord from one of the developers themselves. So I'm not going to read the full post, but the key points I would pick out are: the game is noted to be feature complete. They do make reference to a long list of things they need to do before releasing the game, but we're not given the impression that these are related to integral game mechanics. It's more peripheral things like languages and voice recordings. Next, they go on to say that testing the game has been quite challenging because certain things will only come up maybe 15 hours into a campaign, so they're still ironing out some bugs. But then they do reiterate that the game is generally stable. The last few points are that multiplayer and single player battles are working well, but they do say that the battles are nothing unusual or out of this world. So I think what they're trying to do there is manage expectations. They don't want to give the impression that this game is some huge battle simulator. They basically say it'll be similar to the first game, but with some updates in terms of graphics and the like. So next I'm going to move on to the update that we received about a week ago. This is again from the official Knights of Honor 2 Discord from the same developer as before. So straight away they do acknowledge that people want to know what the release date is, but they can't give one yet. And I know that is frustrating for some people, but I think it is good they've at least come out with some honest communication and acknowledged that. They have fronted that up, and they're giving us a sort of down-to-earth, realistic status of where the game is, which I do appreciate. And ultimately, it is better to have, a bug-free game when it comes out, so you can hit the ground running. So in terms of the specifics then, the first point just relates to music recording. So that's not sort of integral to the game. I wouldn't expect that to hold them up too long, although they do say that they're getting the first samples back, so maybe that is quite a big job. I'm not entirely sure. The next point is on the battle UI. So the way that I read this paragraph is that they have recently finalized the battle UI, tested it, and they're not happy with it, so they're going to make some tweaks. But essentially that is presentational, it's cosmetic, it's just the way the buttons are presented to the player. So it's not, an integral, fundamental gameplay issue, and they just need to find a presentation that works. I wouldn't expect them to hold up the game too much. The next point is slightly more worrying. It's on the AI. I think what they have done is they have finalized the way that the way the AI acts, but they've tested it and found that it's potentially too strong. I have no issue with strong AI or challenging AI as long as there's not loads of cheats used, but that's probably slightly more worrying if they're sort of adjusting the way the AI acts, because that is fundamental to the way the game operates, and that's probably not a quick fix. The next point is just on a bug, a ghost crash, a specific bug. I think if they're already working on that, then that shouldn't hold them up too much. And then we've got some multiplayer issues. Nothing major. I think they're just trying to improve the experience. Personally, I'm more concerned about the single player game, but there will be people who play almost exclusively for multiplayer, so it would be good if they could get that resolved, but I don't think that will hold them up. And then lastly, they just say that the game is feature complete, as in the last post, but they're just working on the balancing, tuning, and fixing stuff. So overall, I do appreciate this down-to-earth status update. I think realistically, we might be looking at sort of Q4 for this coming out if they're still working on the way that the AI acts and the user interface. But I'm looking forward to playing this. I think ultimately, if it comes out this year, that'll still be a decent result, and there will actually be, I think, another dev stream coming out on the 19th, so we might see some battle footage there, because I think, to my knowledge, we haven't seen any as of yet. But for those who were looking for some information, I hope this has been informative. This has been all I've been able to find, but thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.